Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In the last video on this TTR 125, I left off by pulling off the carburetor. So here's where it sits right now. Carburetor is off the bike, and I've got it up on the cart here. I'm ready to take it apart. So the way this bike was running, I'm guessing the jets are not plugged up. It's probably more of a float height issue. So it ran fine when I first started it up, but then as time went on, it ran worse and worse. And it felt like, or it ran like a rich condition. So it wasn't lean or anything like a plug jet. And combined with the overflow tube leaking fuel, that makes me think it's the float height. So I'm gonna check into that. And then one other thing too is the Petcock valve on this gas tank looks like a China one. And it's leaking pretty good. So that might have to do with part of the issue as well. You know, if the Petcock's continually leaking fuel into the carburetor and the float height is off too, it's just going to overfill the carburetor and make it run really rich. Alright, let's dig into this thing. Alright, I'm going to pull off the float bowl. It's just held on by these 4 screws on the corners. So right here we've got the main jet, and the pilot jet is down in this hole. We're going to pull these out and see if they're plugged up or not, which I doubt they are. Alright, the jets are out. Let's check to see if we can see through them. Got the main here. Yep, that one looks like it's clear. Good to go. And it's usually the pilot that's plugged up since the hole is so small on these. That one looks like it's clear as well. Let me zoom in on it. Yep, see that little bit of light coming through? That's the hole. It's so tiny. Alright, so it's not the jets. I'm going to check out the float height and see what's up with that Petcock as well. In order to check the float height, I'm going to pull the tank off the bike and then I'll look over the Petcock as well, see why it's leaking. Let's fill up this tank with water and see if this Petcock is leaking. Petcock is on right now. I'm going to turn it to the off position. See if the flow stops. Still coming out little by little. Yeah, this Petcock is actually dripping pretty good. That's a little bit of a problem. So how I'm going to check the float height is plug the fuel line back into the carburetor and turn the gas on and hold the floats in the up position. If it's still leaking, then there's something up with the floats or the needle valve. I'm just going to put this fuel line back on, and now you can see it's coming out the valve. Actually, let's turn the fuel on to get a better gauge at this. So the needle valve is doing nothing. There's definitely something up with the floats and the valve. That's the problem right there. So this is exactly what it looks like when the fuel is on and the floats, basically the level in the floats or the float bowl comes up, raises these floats and closes off the valve. But apparently that's not happening with this one. So all that fuel is just getting sucked right into the engine and making it run really rich. Alright, I'm going to dig into this float issue a little bit more. I'm just going to pull the floats off of here. The floats are held on by this pin right here. So slide that out and slide the floats out along with the needle. Shuts off the fuel flow into the carburetor. It goes right into this hole here. And when the floats are in the up position, it'll seal it off. But this one is not doing its job. I'm going to pull this plate off and see if this seat or the needle valve seat is replaceable. So I ended up getting the needle seat and valve out of the carburetor. Just got to order some new ones. And while I'm at it, I'm just gonna replace all the gaskets and O-rings in the carburetor. Gotta make sure it's gonna run top notch. That's about all I can do with the carburetor at this point while I'm waiting on parts. So I'm gonna check over the rest of the bike. There's a few things I noticed that are gonna need replacement. So first of all, the tires are getting way down there. Front tire's flat, so I'm just gonna replace the tubes and tires while I'm at it. And this front fender, it's got a crack in it and it's really sun faded. That'll need replacement. And baffle's missing. Chain and sprockets are well past their lifetime. Replace those. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, the normal grips, spark plug. Oh, one last thing here. There's a special nut that goes on the end of this brake rod that helps for adjustment. So I'm gonna order up the correct one of those. So now it's off to ordering some parts. Oh, there's one more thing I'm gonna need. This Petcock valve was leaking, like I was showing earlier. So I am getting hooked up by my biggest sponsor. Revive Moto's got one. Let's go find it. 02 TTR 125. There we go. Don't even have to go anywhere. As you guys can tell, most of the time I would rather just fix things than replace it. So I'm actually gonna tear into this Petcock and see what's up with it. Figure out why it's leaking. The seal here is not in too good a shape, so that must have been the issue right there. What I'm gonna try to do here is flip it around and see if I can get it to work. Just gonna put this thing back together. All right, let's try that. All right, that might just do it. Let's go test it. So the Petcock's in the on position now. Gonna turn it off. See if it stops leaking. I think we might be good. Wow, I'm surprised that worked. Kind of a ghetto fix, just flipping that seal around. But you know what? I'm not complaining. Looks like I'm not even gonna need Revive Moto after all. Oh well, maybe another day they can sponsor me. Alright guys, I'm gonna go check out this air filter. I'm gonna pull it off the cage here and see if it's torn up at all. This thing is falling apart pretty bad. Check this out. The foam is just completely washing off of it. That's all the foam falling off. Wow. There is still a lot of work that needs to be done to this bike. So for right now, I'm gonna clean out this airbox. It's pretty nasty. Got some brake cleaner right here. This should do the trick. Alright, I've got this airbox looking pretty good. Not a whole lot of dirt left in it. Now I'm gonna move on to the carburetor. Gonna clean this thing up and get it ready for when my parts show up. Got my carby all cleaned up, just waiting on some parts now. With all these projects I've got going on lately, I've been neglecting some things around the house. So the first thing I've got to do is change out a few of these light bulbs that have burnt out. Sweet. Got one more on the front of the shop. It's way up there. Gonna have to grab the other ladder. All right, this ladder takes a lot more setup. Gotta change this bulb right up here. Sorry for all the wind noise, guys. It's always windy out here. Success. I can cross that one off the list. All right, one more thing. This sensor is dead, so I'm gonna have to swap out the batteries. Only a little sketchy here. I should probably put the camera down for this one. I'm gonna have to open this thing up and see what kind of batteries it takes. I've got a little photo shoot to do with these KX250F engine parts. So I'm gonna set up the studio and start shooting. Let's bust this out. I'll turn on all these lights here and roll out this big sheet of paper. Ready to start shooting pictures. Okay guys, I've got all these KX250F parts now up on the website. For those of you with a KX250F, head over to revivemoto.com and I've got you covered. I appreciate you guys watching the video and I will see you all in the next one. I've got something really cool coming your way. Later.